What's up? On our play for this week, Sony gives us a peek into their 2024 games lineup. Does it line up with our expectations? We'll see. How stressful is The Last of Us 2 Remastered's new mode, No Return? Apparently, very, and we'll find out. Will Dragon's Dogma 2 be the sleeper hit of the first quarter? We'll talk about it. There's something really interesting about that. And then last up, Dragon's Dogma. Sean's saying no. Dragon's Dogma devs are back in the kitchen with a new IP. Will it also have zombies? Maybe. We'll see. All this and more on season 8, episode 1 of Press X Start Gamers Digest. All right. Let's get this going. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Dragon's Dogma 2, my guys. It's coming. It's coming. With drop kicks included. I am joined by
Sean MF Ross.
Ooh, what does that M and F stand for?
Infinite wealth.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. You got to keep that.
Coming.
All right. This is Press X Start Gamers Digest, a video podcast that gets the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube whenever we can make it. Things are going to be changing about that. You'll get more a little bit. You'll get more about that a little later on. Don't forget, you can support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, we would greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the podcast services you are currently tuned in on. And if you won't, you can join in our conversations by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. Before we jump into the game news, we have a little announcement. As I said earlier, we are moving our recording time to Thursday nights, right now at 9 p.m. We're both managing a family. Sean is gonna have a extension to his family coming very soon, so we are going to be adapting. So yeah, right now it's gonna be Thursday nights at 9 p.m. So check us then. All right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right? we'll make it to Thursday at least.
Matter of factly, if y'all are interested in seeing us streaming, let us know. If you want to see us streaming out or Call of Duty or whatever, like a Dragon's Dogma, like a Dragon's Dogma 2 Infinite. So, let us know in the Discord, DMs, comments on YouTube, whatever.
Yes, for sure. Yes. All right. Now that we have all that wrapped up in a bow, ready to go, let us jump into the gaming news. Number 1, Sony has dropped their 2024 lineup in a nice little video. Let's switch over to the video real quick. Boom. So this video is about 2 minutes long. It drops about 18 games. So watching this, halfway through, I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's done. And then I checked the timer. I was like, oh, no, there's another minute left of games to talk about. Like, what's happening here? Like,
they're not all exclusive, though.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. Yeah. So this is, I guess, is supposed to be their hype reel. My worry is because I think this is the first time we've gotten a video like this from Sony at the start of the year. And yeah, I wonder if they are trying a new format, because the last time we got a state of play, that wasn't a new format because it had the lady show face and she was talking through the different games. And
they're not beholden to anything or anyone. They're just doing their own thing.
Exactly.
It's just funny when we get think pieces from blogs stating, otherwise or whatever. They're just trying to predict Sony's next move when we have no way to tell other than leaked documents,
right,
what their measure of success is.
Right. And so it's like, haha, I don't even know our own move, our next move.
Yeah.
So like there's a couple things in this video that caught my attention before looking at the games. And one was they have a new graphic treatment for their games or for the showing of their games. And I don't know, like all this kind of feels like it feels like they are going to try some new stuff this year, which kind of works because Jim Ryan is gone. So this kind of gives them space to do a bunch of things differently. Um, so let's talk about the games they show. The first thing they show, also, we're gonna run through the games we talked about last week because a lot of these games on here we talked about in our little 2024 preview. So we got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth that's coming out February 29th. Helldiver, we talked about Final Fantasy last week. Helldivers 2, we didn't talk about last week. That's coming out February 8th. It looks interesting, as you know. The first Helldivers was a isometric view, same kind of format where you play as soldiers, you are shooting monsters. The big thing about that was that there's friendly fire all the time. So you have to communicate with your people, and your equipment stuff can also kill the players, and then you could go over and revive them, so on and so forth. So it looks like Helldivers 2 kind of follows the same track, but it's behind the back, third person shooter. Tekken 8, we talked about. Stellar Blade, they just kind of confirmed that it is coming out 2024. It's supposed to come out last year. We didn't really hear much from them, so we'll see what happens this year. Rise of Ronin, we talked about. Suicide Squad Killer Justice League. I don't know how much money Warner Brothers paid Sony to like say, hey,
Showcasing this.
yeah, because I it's possible. It's possible that this could be a sleeper hit. I doubt it. I very much so doubt it. But it's weird that the first showing of the game did really, really bad. The second showing of it was all right. And I think that was like what, a year or so after the first showing. And it was like,
Yeah.
this looks better, but like, hmm, hmm. So yeah, we'll see. That comes out January 30th. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, we talked about that. That's January 26th.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. We didn't really talk about it, but we've kind of danced around it. It looks interesting. Me personally, I don't. I think the first showing of it, I was like, ooh, I want to get into this, but I don't. I don't know. We'll see because that's actually out next week, right? No,
What?
the week after. The Lost Crown, the 15th.
Oh.
I think that's the week after. Days are confusing. Yeah, you got a whole week.
I mean, just go play Aladdin, man, from Genesis. Same thing.
After that, we got Concord. That's confirmed for 2024. The weird thing about this game is that they showed the exact same trailer they showed the start of last year in that PlayStation Showcase. So we'll see. We got Pacific Drive, which reminds me of another driving game that came out for PlayStation, I think in 2022. Don't remember the name. I just threw it out there. Silent Hill 2, confirmed for 2024. That's cool. Dragon's Dogma 2, never. March 2020, March 22nd. We talked about that last podcast. Forever Skies. This I've actually never heard of this game at all. So wait, is it 2024 or did it actually come out?
I see 2024. Nothing solid.
Oh, okay. No worries. The next game is the Plucky Squire, which we saw, I think, early last year. This game looks incredible. Thought it was gonna come out last year, did not. It's supposed to be coming out this year, so awesome. Foam Stars, another game we saw last year. We kind of thought was mid at best. 2024
I
this year.
mean, they got faith in it to throw this
Yeah.
type of money in. I mean, it looks like a damn near AAA. What the
I almost said Squidbillies.
Splatoon?
Splatoon.
Squidbillies is good.
No,
But
it
yeah,
is.
this looks like
My
it,
job,
it's
my
split.
brain jumped from Squidbillies to Squidward to like Squid something. It's Squid something in Splatoon. I was completely just
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, this looks like if Splatoon had more of a budget, and I mean, people
Yeah,
love that. So we'll see
yeah.
how this goes.
And apparently with Foam Stars, like they did a preview and the people who played it, they came out pretty positive about the game. So it could have just been that first trailer just wasn't a great trailer. We have the casting of Frank Stone, which reminds me of Dead by Daylight. That's also 2024. We have Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, 2024, and then The Last of Us 2 Remastered, which is January 19th. So this is a list of their games. Um, Sean, out of the list of these games, minus the ones we talked about last week, did any of these kind of stand out to you?
I'm probably likely to get maybe like 5 games out of this
Yeah,
list. Interestingly enough, most of these things have a early first quarter release date. So, um,
yeah,
I don't know. Final Fantasy, Like a Dragon, Rise of the Ronin, Last of Us. Like, I don't know.
yeah. I think that is the biggest thing to this is that the dates that we have, they in March. And that's kind of a weird thing.
Home Stars if
Like,
it's free or it gets very good reviews.
yeah, yeah. I think out of all these games, minus the ones we talked about last week, the most interesting to me is Concord, just for
Hmm.
the fact that this game is coming out this year and we have seen absolutely no gameplay from this game. All the other games on this list, there's some kind of gameplay to know what kind of game this thing
Yeah,
is, except for Concord. And it's just like, how they just gonna show us the same trailer twice? Like, what are you doing?
I'd have to see the trailer again. I don't even remember anything about it.
It's not much. It's just a shot of a inside of a like spaceship where you have a bunch of
Uh,
stuff in the spaceship and it's just like kind of shaking as it traveling through, I guess, hyperspace or something. But like that's it. I don't know. All right. Let's
Call of
jump
Duty
in.
killer, maybe.
Right. Will it
I
have the
don't know.
skins though?
I don't know. Sony needs something.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got
I
they got
think
10 years to figure out something.
I think I think this lineup, this video is I really hope it's not Sony answering the question, well, what do you have for 2024? Because if this is it, this is not great. This is
We'll
not
see.
great. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. There's also news of some other things happening that wasn't on this list, and we're gonna get to that as well. Let's switch back. Number 2. Naughty Dog Dev. The Last of Us 2 no return mode is stressful. This comes from Insider Gamer by way of, give me one moment, Grant Taylor Hill. So, as we all know, there's a new mode coming to The Last of Us, The Last of Us 2 Remastered called No Return, which is a roguelike mode where you play as any of the many survivors from that game and you have to survive hordes and different stuff with different buffs and debuffs put on your character every time you jump into this mode. Um, so they basically released a tweet, said that I don't think you guys are ready for just how stressful the survival mode for The Last of Us 2 Remastered title. Not recommended for weak hearts. So,
Why didn't you just say it?
not
Not recommended for bitches.
recommended. So,
I mean,
I think
I'm
the
gonna play it
understanding,
as we discussed. I'm gonna play it.
yeah, I think the understanding is that this is marketing, right? They
Hmm.
are trying to drum up attention for this before releases because the remaster releases January 19th, which is in 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Um, I don't I'd rather see cool things from the mode versus something like, "Oh, this is so stressful," kind of thing. It's just like, I guess, I feel like they might be working off of the, like, Dark Souls approach for, "Ooh, this is a, like, hard mode for those people who enjoy the hard games," and, you know oh, actually, there is a video of gameplay like I was asking for. It's funny, I'm
Yeah,
stupid.
apparently there are 10 playable characters with Abby and Ellie being unlocked right off the bat.
Okay. So,
And you
yeah.
got some people in the comments talking about they will be pirating it on PC because they don't want to support a Zionist studio with their milking remaster over and over. Why even
Oh,
play it to begin with? Then?
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, people are funny.
Yeah. So, I see, the thing is, like, I don't, because I don't think I wanna buy the remastered. I enjoyed Last of Us 2, but not enough for me to buy the game, or not enough for me to, like, wanna play the game again,
Yeah.
and I think this mode is cool, but I'd probably be leaning off of, like, you and I think Marcus, who's gonna get this as well. Yeah.
Marcus did it.
I think so. I could be wrong, but I mean, Last of Us 2 is tattooed on his back,
Marcus,
so
just insert an audio, uh, like as you like to do.
it's just him saying yes.
Hmm. You know what time it is.
All right. The other piece of news to go with The Last of Us 2 is The Last of Us, the HBO show, grabbed 8 wins on night 1 of 2023's Creative Arts Emmys. So yeah, the HBO show Last of Us has been by far the dominant favor with their 8 wins. So that's awesome. It's just a little,
Hmm.
like, pat on the back for them. Like, that show is a great show. Um, so it makes sense that they're winning all these awards for it. So props to them.
Yeah.
Number 3. The Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown runs at 60 frames per second or more on every console, showing the value of putting Nintendo Switch first. This comes from Games Radar by way of Kane Surin. Cool name.
Yeah.
So there's not too much to this story other than the fact that. Wait, you want to say something?
I'm just look. I'm like it's a side scroller, man. I would hope.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say, Sean. It's just like,
I would
of course,
hope it
it
could.
better be 60 frames. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I
this is
think
20. Go
the
ahead.
more surprise I think is that it's 4K and 120 on PS5 and Xbox Series X because I don't
Yeah.
think we have too many games that do that at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, the fact that it's hitting both is an awesome accomplishment, but it's kind of like, I mean, at this point, it should be doing that. Like, not to do that whole, like, oh well, it's a 2D game, it's a platformer, so there's not a lot of polygon to it, and like, these are all 3D assets, and like, it's doing a lot with the visual effects and so on and so forth. But like, it's kind of understood that it should hit those top marks because this game isn't an open world game. It's very much so a straightforward game in that it is a side scroller. So that should give them enough space to focus down on their performance, which they are, which is good. So yeah, like, props for them for nailing that. I think the best thing that this game is doing for Ubisoft is that it's not just a checkbox game. This is going to be like a story driven game because it has to be a story driven game because it's a side scroller game. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
trying to find a list of games. I don't see too many games that do both at the same time.
right, right. All right, so number 4. This is sort of for me, but it's sort of a weird thing that, like, I am very shocked to see. So,
Mhm.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is on IGN's First. IGN First, if you don't know, is where IGN dedicates just about like a month of just videos and content on a specific game. And usually that's drummed up for marketing and so on and so forth. So the first thing they put out was an 18-minute gameplay video showing a couple of classes you can play in Dragon Dogma 2. All that stuff, fine. When I first watched the video, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is fun. Like, this is for me because I play Dragon's Dogma. About a day later, I happened to have the video on one of my windows, and I looked at it and I was like, huh, this has over 500,000 views. That's insane. And then I checked back a couple days later. It was sitting at 876,000 views. This almost has 1 million views for Dragon's Dogma 2 game.
I mean, I
So
guess that's good.
the
I
thing that's
guess.
crazy to me is that, like, oftentimes you can pair IGN has like, I think like 17 million subscribers or something like that. So it's like, of
Yeah.
course, all those people are going to funnel into these videos, but like, that's not always the case. Like, that's actually rarely the case. And it's kind of shocking to me that, of course, because I love Dragon's Dogma 2 or Dragon's Dogma, but I don't expect other people to love this game as well. So I'm always going into this with tempered expectations in terms of, is this actually going to sell? Like, is this a thing that like people are going to be interested in? And to see that,
Not me.
except for Sean, because Sean stands firm in his beliefs. Dragmas with Dogma sucks. But it's a thing of just like, this is really interesting. And like, I kind of talked about this last week when I was talking about Dragon's Dogma 2, is that like Capcom is in their pseudo golden era where their games they're releasing are good. And it feels like that kind of wave, it is kind of leaning into Dragon's Dogma 2. So that could be good for the game, but I still am cautious in that it's going to be Dragon's Dogma. And Dragon's Dogma is a
You know what's crazy is that Asmongold, if people know who that is,
yeah,
has a video critiquing basically the IGN video, and his video has 763K views. So,
yo, really? Oh, okay.
Dragon's Dogma might be the hot shit. I'm still not touching it, but might be the hot shit. Yeah.
Well, while you're playing, well, I guess you know, because Dragon's Dogma was in March. Whatever. So yeah, and like I just find this very, very interesting. That video, the 18-minute video, is they don't do anything special to the gameplay, to anything. Like, it is just the gameplay. And Dragon's Dogma 2 or Dragon's Dogma works off of, it's not super, super flashy. Like, it's definitely not the best looking game, but it does really good with the moment to moment experiences of just like, I'm in woods right now. The whole ground is shook. What does this mean? Oh, there's a troll over there. Oh no, I am not ready for this. And you have to actually run away or fight it. And
I'm gonna play it the same way you did Death Stranding.
yeah. Hey, you know what? It still counts. You know what I mean? It still counts.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a rough time for DJ because Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon come out on the same day. And then Rise of the Ronin and Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out on the same day.
I don't know why they do this. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? It's because Armor Core came out last year, and they were like, okay, we're gonna get you next year.
Yeah, and then you got Final Fantasy coming out the end of February. So man, you're gonna have a busy first quarter.
Real quick, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth comes out on the 29th of February.
Yeah, leap day.
Did they do it on purpose? I really hope.
Yeah,
I really hope they play.
Yeah, they actually had a comet pass over the Earth as part of their marketing. I don't know if you know about that.
Fucking Sephiroth at it again, damn it.
Insert
Oh,
prompt
that's
music.
awesome.
Do it.
All right. All right. Number 5. Days Gone developer Ben Studio says we cooking with new IP. This comes from Sean's favorite website, Games Right. So there's not too much here other than the fact that they're replying to fans who asked for an update on the company's new IP that is expected to be a PS5 exclusive. This comes to us by way of Dane Enrio. So yeah, they're working on a new project. Days Gone was successful, but the sequel was not approved.
I
But
wonder what really happened behind the scenes for that
yeah,
to
I don't
happen,
know.
because it was commercially successful and it hit later, kind of like how studios would make back their money with VHSs back in the day. If our
Mhm.
listeners are old enough to know what that is, but that's really strange because like once it became free on PlayStation Plus, a lot of people went on and played it, and it's like, man, this is actually a pretty good game. What the hell happened with the marketing? Like, yeah, Deacon talks a little bit, but I mean,
Yeah,
the bones of this game are solid.
yeah, and I think it was probably just word of mouth probably killed it because I think didn't it release around last of
People probably just had
release?
zombie fatigue and all that.
Yeah. So this new project is supposed to be an open world multiplayer experience. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what that's like or what that's gonna be like. Hopefully, PlayStation gives us some kind of showcase at some point. I don't really know, but we'll see. All right. Before we get into the weird stuff from Activision's an ex-Activision executive. Hey, if you're liking what we've done so far, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you would like. We would greatly appreciate your subscription. And then
Mm-hmm.
hit the notification bell. Because if you do that, you will see the next time we record, which will be Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, if you were listening to us and you didn't see me just look directly into your eyes, can you leave a review for this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or podcast services you're currently tuned in on? We appreciate that as well. Thank you. Um, and if you want, you can join our Discord by going to pressx2start.com/Discord. That will take you to our Discord. And there you could talk with not only Sean and myself, but with the other people who are in Discord and the other members of the Press X Start group. We're all cool. And we greatly
Mm-hmm.
appreciate your conversation. Yeah. All right.
You know what? World War Z came out that same month, and I think you played that for a very short time when you should have got
Yeah.
Days Gone, DJ. Uh, Mortal Kombat 11 came out. That was just in April. Days Gone, like
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff came out around that time. So, or
Now that you bring that up, yeah.
season, that
I
season,
think
yeah.
I think I picked World War Z over Days Gone because it was multiplayer. And it's
Mm.
interesting that they're now making it online multiplayer game. Oh no.
Oh, you know what? Sekiro released the month before as well. Uh,
Mm.
what else? I'm just throwing shit around. Wait, was that when the Division 2 first came out?
No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, it first came out March 15, 2019. So I think that probably sucked
Oh.
some air out of the room. Devil May Cry
Mm-hmm.
5 came out. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
big people are on Dead or Alive 6 still.
Yeah.
Far Cry New Dawn. I'm just looking at the list, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Apex Legends came out that year as well. Okay, so a lot of things just went wrong as far as things releasing in that
People are just playing other games.
yeah, and they kind of missed out.
Like Gundam,
Whatever.
Battle Operations 2, you know what I mean?
You right. You right.
Oh man. All right.
So it is what it is. Next.
Yeah. So we'll see. Because I think they are good at making games. And if they can, I think the best thing that it could be is they take the understandings, take the technology, and take the gameplay from Days Gone and use
Yeah.
that for this online multiplayer thing. Because I feel like right now, at least for this year, the only competition that it would have would be like the Modern Warfare Zombies, I guess. At least that I could think of if they were to go for another
We'll
zombie
see
thing.
what they do.
But I don't know. I mean, because
You know what?
the last
It's.
good.
And I was just gonna say, Days Gone is on PlayStation Plus right now. You should try it, DJ.
Oh, okay.
PlayStation Plus
Cool.
Extra. I think you have that.
Yes, I still have it. I still have
Give it a whirl,
it.
DJ. Maybe you'll take some of my game suggestions.
What do you mean? I
Unlike,
got on the Like a Dragon. I played
unlike
Yakuza.
Marcus with Black Flag. I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out, listeners. I sent Marcus money to buy Black Flag. He refuses to play it.
He just
Greatest
bought a
pirate
pair of
game ever.
glasses instead.
Listeners, list all the reasons why Marcus should try Black Flag.
1, black.
All the reason you need right there.
Exactly. All right. Number 6. Ex-Activision exec accuses publisher of discriminating against old white guys. This comes from
The nerve of
game
them.
industry. Exact. Can you believe them? Like seriously? This comes from GameIndustry.biz by way of Brenda Sinclair. No, Brendan Sinclair. Nailed it. Okay. A former Activision exec has sued the publisher in California state court, accusing the company of age discrimination and violating the state's whistleblowers protection law, as reported by Law 360. That's a cool name. The suit was filed earlier this week by a 57-year-old former tech executive who worked for the company from 2014 until being laid off as part of a restructuring in the Activision Blizzard Central Tech Department last August. The lawsuit gives several examples to establish that Activision Blizzard discriminated against him, starting with statements Bobby Kotick allegedly made at a leadership conference that the problem with Activision Blizzard is that there are too many old white guys. The suit doesn't exactly the suit doesn't say exactly when the conference was. It says a pair of white executives left the company shortly afterwards, saying their departure was based, at least in part, on Kotick's ageist remarks. One of those departing executives recommended the plaintiff at his replacement, the suit says. No. Executive recommended the plaintiff as his replacement, the suit says, okay. But he was passed over in favor of a younger, non-white employee who became his manager.
How they gonna let the slaves run the plantation? What kind of shit is that? You know what? I get his anger. I understand it. There's a hierarchy that's supposed to be followed at Activision Blizzard, and ever since COVID, everything's all topsy turvy. Doesn't make any sense.
How dare you let a person darker than my skin color manage me? Like what? This is why. Okay. The suit accuses the manager of creating a hostile work environment and criticizing his work such that his merit-based salary increase for the year was the lowest he's received during his tenure at Activision.
Meaning he probably wasn't doing dog shit his entire time there, just barely, just coasting off the content of his character.
No. This man's like, wait. You want me to actually do work? How dare you? You know what? I'm suing the company. Like,
This is
this is ridiculous.
this is probably the problem with our economy. This is probably happening everywhere. People are getting paid for doing jack shit.
Man. So yeah, there's a lot more to this. We're not gonna get into everything. Okay, I'm just gonna read
No,
the
no.
last.
I wanted to read this one little clip that you can read your part. Activision placed profits over people by terminating the older, higher paid executives. Isn't that what they would do
Exactly, right?
when they do
That's
layoffs
what
and stuff? Shut the fuck up, man.
we've been yelling about that forever with Activision. And Activision actually did the thing. And he's like, how dare you? I'm gonna sue the company.
It's all fun and
So
games until you get cut.
exactly, until your job's in danger. Then you're like, wait a minute, this is a problem. All right. The suit notes that a woman in his department complained to human resources about her own merit-based increase being below expectations, saying she made false and defamatory remarks about him to human resources and his manager. So, uh, sure, my guy, go ahead and complain. No one cares, okay? No one cares. We'll see
Yeah.
how this goes. There's been an update to this, and so after the publication of this article, an Activision Blizzard representative contacted GameIndustry.biz to refer us to the publisher's equal employment opportunity policy. So they're basically saying, no, we did nothing wrong. Like that's what we have in our books and that's what we followed. And it's like this is what we want. We want more diversity in these studios to hopefully make better decisions going forward. So it's not just the same people making the same or doing the same thing, because that's what Activision suffered for. Like they literally focused down on Call of Duty and they just erased all of their other games to focus down on Call of Duty. And sure, Call of Duty is a good game, but like there is space for other games that can come from Activision. And we don't get any other games anymore because it's been profit over people for the longest time. So,
Yeah.
sorry, guy, you're out. That is hilarious, though. A younger non-white person is my superior? Never.
I mean, would it have made it better if a younger white person was his superior?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, maybe he wouldn't have sued though. We don't know. Maybe. He was like, "Oh, it's my son. That's cool." That works. All right.
I guess.
Number 7. Nexon fined nearly 9 million for for falsifying loot box drop rates. This comes from PC Gamer. So this is just kind of a crazy thing. So this comes to us from PC Gamer by way of Andy Chalk. A report from the Korean Economic Daily says Nexon has been slapped with a fine of $8.85 million by Korea's Fair Trade Commission for changing the drop rates of items in MapleStory and Bubble Fighter multiple times between the years of 2010 and 2021 without telling anyone. Like, that's insane. So
This
go
is
ahead.
why you don't participate in microtransactions.
Well, it's more so, I mean, this is not something that should be done. And they were caught and they were fined a ridiculous. I mean, I say it's a ridiculous amount, but like MapleStory has been around forever. Like MapleStory was a game that I played a little bit, I think back in 2010. And I was like, oh,
You
this
didn't know
is
any better.
I at that time, like I didn't do any of the microtransactions. I literally made an account. I moved left, I moved right, and I was like, all right, cool. See you later. Didn't play it again.
So Maple Story originally came out in '03. Damn, I remember when this came out.
Wait, I
Crazy.
guess I didn't play it in no. It was earlier then because 2010 I was out of college. So I definitely didn't play it then. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say here other than like good for the Fair Trade Commission catching this and finding them. the money. Although it's a thing of it's almost $9 million. This is
But
probably
how much do they bring in yearly or daily?
exactly
Like
that's what I'm
people are
saying. Like
still
this is
playing this
probably
game.
not a lot of money to them.
Is this a month of microtransactions worth of fines to them? Like, does this matter to
Right.
them?
They're like, all right, you know what? Fine. We're gonna change the drop rates real quick, and we're gonna tell you this time, and we'll make this money back in about 4 days. Thanks.
It's crazy because it says, let me see, continue changing the odds until March 2021. In some cases, ensuring that particularly high demand cubes didn't drop at all, but did not notify the players of the changes. In fact, in August of 2011, they released a statement saying that they didn't make any changes. So they lied
That's
and got
wild.
caught.
So they don't double down on their deceit. That is crazy.
Mm.
Okay. Number 8. Logan Paul finally offers refunds for failed NFT game. This comes from Kotaku by way of Levi Winslow. Levy Winslow. So, in case you forgot, controversial YouTuber Logan Paul promised to pay back millions of dollars to folks who fell victim to his NFT game, CryptoZoo. The game, a sort of Pokemon like where you collect, sell, and trade exotic animals on the blockchain, never really existed. Though, which left the embattled content creator with a fat class action lawsuit on his desk. Now, after swearing refunds were coming, Paul has delivered. Although, if you take his money, you aren't allowed to sue him.
Mm.
Cool. So it's one of those things where this is sort of the end result of a lot of those NFT games that was being talked about, being
Yeah.
uh, hyped
Blockchain
over.
NFT. Yeah, we just had a season of everybody trying to come out with some NFT thing.
Yeah,
And if you're one of our smart listeners, you never got hyped up in any of that crap.
exactly. Exactly. So yeah, good. Good that he has to pay back the money that people gave him for this game that doesn't exist in this stupid premise to begin with. Number 9. This is also a short one. This is just for us oldies, I guess. Valve makes boomer shooters an official genre on Steam. This comes to us by way of GameStop. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, um, this is by
Mm.
Jason
Finelli.
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 No,
Finelli.
there we go. What he said, Finelli. All right. So essentially, the term boomer shooter, if you don't know, it refers to any FPS that bears a resemblance to the original Doom's format. Whether the game in question is an original early 90s classic like Doom or a modern indie like Turbo Overkill or Dusk. Okay, so as of this writing, a total of 64 games fall into this category. So that was actually what I was gonna say. It was like I didn't think there was enough of these games to kind of
Make a whole ass category.
yeah, but if there's 64, that's a lot of that's kind of crazy. Um list which includes Star Wars Dark Forces, Ion Fury, Warhammer 40K, Bolt Gun, and more. So that's cool, I guess. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, we're getting old. We're getting old.
Don't say that again.
It's happening. It's happening. Yeah, again, there's not too much here other than Steam has made a
Whole
genre
ass.
called boomer shooters. We'll see if the consoles follow this and also create one of these things.
There's gonna be somebody on Twitch for like, hey guys, let's check out some boomer shooters today, and we will officially feel old. Anyway, moving on.
It's terrible. All right. Well, that is it for the gaming news. Now let us talk about the games Sean has been playing. Sean, what have you been playing?
So, Saints Row became free on PlayStation Plus. What I want to say, September, something like that, after they raised the price. And I said, you know what? I like the Saints Row series. Let me check this out. I didn't buy it last time. I see some reviews saying the game is okay. It's just not the Saints Row that you know. I didn't even get past the first mission. This this game is like a checkbox of it's rough to put this into words. It's
Yeah.
trying to please Gen Z versus trying to just be Saints Row, and it feels like I'm all for representation in games, but this game feels like it does representation for representation's sake.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not handled smartly.
yeah, even when trying to create a character, there's no just yes, I'm black, but I didn't even have a straight white male looking option, if that makes any
Hmm.
sense. Not just
Hmm.
a normal looking person. Everyone has colored
Some kind of
hair or
flair to
a
them.
piercing here or I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It was just a rough thing, and then it did not control well.
Okay. Yeah.
So and then the cutscenes, and then just I understand why this game got the poor reviews that it did, and I'm surprised that it play tested well enough. Into like, who did they have play test this? And they're like, yeah, this is solid. Move forward. Like I don't.
I mean, it probably didn't play test that well either because it was probably a thing of like, well, this is good enough. It'll make us some money. We'll see.
Or did they think, am I wrong? No, it's the children who are wrong type thing. Like this is and as inflammatory as I may try to be or seem to be, I am actually very I don't want to say tolerant, but inclusionary, whatever the hell you want to call it shit. Like,
Progressive.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
this game ain't it. For as progressive as I am, this
No.
game ain't it.
Yeah. No, it's not because if this game, if if the progressiveness of this game actually rang true, there'd be a lot of people that'd be like, hey, even though this game sucks or doesn't play well, there's still like a lot of good parts in this game. But like, there's no
if
one supporting this
it,
game.
it
Like,
it feels like it's pandering to all the people that it tries to portray in the game, if
exactly.
that makes sense. And
Exactly. Yeah.
it wasn't a fun experience. So I
Yeah. It's it's like
it
if the ex Activision executive was
yeah.
forced to make a inclusionary game, and he's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna hit all these check boxes and here go.
This is one of those examples where you don't listen to the fans or you don't
Hmm.
listen to the consumer because they don't know what they want.
Yeah, yeah, I, yeah. It's just they took a shot. It was a bad shot, and now their studio's closed.
This is one of
It's
the
unfortunate.
oh, did the studio close completely?
Yeah, because it's done. Volition's done.
This is one of those few games where I delete it immediately. Sometimes I'll go back to it again and try it again.
Right?
I didn't even finish the first mission. I was just like, this ain't it, and I
Yeah,
closed it
yeah,
and deleted it. It
yeah.
is what it is.
And one thing to know is that like there are a ton of bad games out there. This game hurts more because not only is it a bad game,
Mhm.
it's they tried to, I would almost say they tried to band-aid the badness of the game by putting a coat of this is progressive, like this is
Yeah,
we're trying to be inclusionary, and it like that part sucks even more because now this is a progressive bad game, and it's
and
like,
now
ugh.
it's gonna be like, well, we tried the progressive, inclusionary thing. We're never doing that
Exactly,
again.
exactly.
It's a bad look all around.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on the final chapter of Like a Dragon Gaiden. This game
Hey.
is short, and that's fine. It was originally supposed to be DLC, but this is not something you would want to have played on the back end of Like a Dragon 8 Infinite Wealth. So
Hmm.
it makes sense that they just spun it off into its own game. It is a complete game. Um, I'm not sure how many hours I've put into it. But I'll update that next time. I'm on the
Yeah.
final chapter. It I can't even say the studio's name. RGG.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Ryu.
Ryu go. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
They're honing their craft, and I'm excited to see. Thankfully, the demo is on Gaiden for Infinite Wealth, but I'm curious if your progress transfers over. I would assume it does.
Mm.
Um, but it is interesting to see their progression of, how they basically, most games would be accused of asset flipping. They reuse all their assets smartly in there to release game, keep their content release out consistently.
Right.
And they just do little tweaks here and there. And in my time of mainlining all these games and doing searches on the internet and all that good stuff, people know what they're getting into when they're playing Yakuza games like a Dragon games. And I think I've only seen one score maybe mediocrely, not even poorly, just mediocrely, like it was the weakest in the series. But that's saying, not saying a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like at this point, like Yakuza is one of the more popular franchises, and it's only getting more popular as each each game releases or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's like that's awesome. And then on top of that, like this one, because we sort of touched on this in our Discord that like this one was released on Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
So
all the Yakuza games are available on Game Pass right now.
mhm,
I think only like two or three are available on PlayStation Plus. The rest are on heavily discounted on
mm,
PlayStation. So
yeah.
I think Yakuza Zero is like $6 right now on
Oh wow.
PlayStation and free on Game Pass. So check it out.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, like I think they're doing the best they can to set everyone who plays Yakuza, everyone who has just heard about Yakuza, and anyone who is just interested in the game to set them up to like, hey, play this game. This will give you some story, and then we have Infinite Wealth dropping, and like that is going to be the big thing. Like I'm so fascinated to see how well that game does. So we're gonna see. All right. And as for me, I don't really have much in terms of what I've been playing, so I'm just gonna leave it to Sean. Um, yeah, we did it. Actually, no. I do have one thing. So, hey guys, it's DJ. I play Gundam Battle Operations too. I've been playing this game for years, years at this point. There's only been two instances where I don't know, three instances where I've had a person message me to trash talk me about a previous game. And it's really difficult to do because you'd have to go into the person's profile and then like do all that stuff through PlayStation. Like after you leave the match, there's no way to bring up the previous game that you played. So oftentimes I'm over here chilling in the lobby and someone's like, you suck. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, I don't even, what are you talking about? Like, I had to save my video to go back to see who this person was. Anyways, I had someone reach out and say something, and they said, like, nice focus or something. And at first I was like, what does that even mean? Like, they talking about was I was I not trying hard enough? But like it was a person on the opposite team, and I was just like, what? And I ended up talking to this person, and it was actually a compliment. I was like, oh, cool. All right. It shocked me because I was just like, this is kind of a first. And I ended up playing against that person in the next game I played, and they were like, "Oh, we're in the same lobby." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." I won, and we were both like, "Good game" or whatever, and that was it. And I was like, "Oh, this is kind of a weird thing. I don't know what to do. I should probably just jump into
Compliment
Call of
in
Duty real quick."
online gaming.
Exactly right. I
let,
was like, "No,
let
this
me
can't
let me
stand. I need toxicity."
let me balance this out and go get called a slur real quick.
Right. Let me go ahead and just turn my mic on and say, hey guys, I'm black. See what happens. So yeah, that was it. It's just it's a weird thing when people are nice to you on games, except for I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare Zombies does a good job at like fostering actual positive community in that game, and that's why I love that mode so
I really just wish people would stop leaving with their money. If you're gonna leave the game early, drop your money.
much. Sounds like, hey, look, I don't want to be toxic, but look, guys, if you keep taking your money with you when you leave, I'm gonna start calling you names. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, let us end this thing. This has been another episode, the first episode of Press X Start Gamers Digest for the year of 2024. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed talking about these games, talking about, I guess, speculation, talking about that ex Activision dude just being the prime example of an old white guy. They talk about other stuff, and then like a Dragon Gaiden, because that game is a cool game, Persia, and you should play it too. So play the game. All right. I don't know what I just kind of went off a cliff and like, hey, before I hit the ground, jumping off this cliff, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. If you are listening, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcast service you're currently tuned in on. If you want to join, you can join our conversations by going on our Discord at pressxmtstart.com/Discord. So do it. Okay. That being said, that's it. Take care. Have a good rest of your day, night, week, weekend, whatever you're doing. Just take care, play games, and enjoy.
All right, y'all.